One question I wish people would ask me as a financial advisor, wealth manager, is how do people become millionaires? The answer will surprise you. Stay with me. If you're watching this channel, I'm going to assume that you're on a financial journey of some sort. And one of the most common financial journeys I see for people here on YouTube is wealth building with the goal of becoming a millionaire. So, what does being a millionaire actually mean? So there's a millionaire in form of net worth that could be real estate, retirement accounts, etc. And then there's cash millionaires, people who have $1 million sitting in investments that are easily accessible. Someone who may have $1 million sitting in a retirement account, okay, that's great, but you really can't access that without significant penalty until age 59 and a half. So those people are textbook millionaires, but they have some accessibility problems unless they've reached the magic age of 59 and a half and then can access that money without substantial penalty. Fewer Americans have $1 million sitting either in cash or in liquid investments, where if they needed to access that money within 48 hours, they really could. But they are considered millionaire too. So we have very different definitions of what constitutes a millionaire, but most of the people in that definition are millionaires because of home equity or in some cases because of retirement account balances. So I feel as a society, especially as American society, we really push entrepreneurship. And we push entrepreneurship as the ticket to becoming a millionaire. And personally, I feel entrepreneurship is oversold to people, especially Americans, on many levels. There's definitely a success bias in entrepreneurship. And many of my clients are successful entrepreneurs who have these fantastic stories. But once again, it's a success bias. They are successful. They are seeing me because they're successful. I have met some entrepreneurs where things didn't quite work out, but I meet many more successful entrepreneurs, and if I didn't know better, I would take it as entrepreneurship is the ticket to wealth building. But I don't believe that entrepreneurship is actually the best pathway to wealth building. And I wanted to talk to some people who may not want to directly go the pathway of entrepreneurship and how they can become millionaires. And I can verify that these method works because I've seen it. The first thing is a well-paid 9 to 5 job. A lot of people really malign the regular corporate job as basically bondage to a paycheck. But a well-paid, well-thought-out strategic career can make you a millionaire several times over. Why? Those careers often have pathways up so that you can earn even more money and build even more skills. And sometimes those careers require specialized skill sets that put you in a position to be able to negotiate a higher salary for the work that you are doing. A lot of my clients, if they're not entrepreneurs, they're people who just worked a regular 9 to 5 job who had a very good income. These are all people who have incomes over 6 figures. And they just decided to invest or save the money in excess of what they needed. These are people who had good lifestyles, but also had relatively modest lifestyle. So if you want to be a millionaire and you don't want to go the route of entrepreneurship, that's okay. Land a really good 9 to 5 job with a solid paycheck, solid career growth and trajectory, and earn a really good salary. Now, once you find that job, sign up for the 401k immediately, especially if you have a match with your 401k. For all the millionaires that I know that are millionaires outside of entrepreneurship, a lot of them have participated in a lot of 401k plans and have participated in a lot of matches. Even if you don't get a match, a lot of people become millionaires through their 401k. I've seen people become millionaires in their 40s just by consistently maxing out their 401k throughout their 20s and throughout their 30s. So it could be a speed ticket to reaching millionaire status by your 40s is participating in the 401k plan at work. Also, I advise once you get into these roles, become an advocate for yourself. Advocate for raises, advocate for promotion, advocate for opportunities, advocate for additional skills to make sure that you put yourself in a position of earning higher and higher. Don't just sit in the job and rot. Don't just sit in the job and never move. you should be moving. It should be up or out. And if you are in a job that it meets all these criterias, but you're not moving anywhere, you're not being promoted, and there's no forward momentum, leave. I have a lot of millionaire clients who move jobs every few years. And if they're not getting the pay or recognition or promotions that they know they deserve, they move on. Next idea for becoming a millionaire outside of entrepreneurship: real estate, buy and hold. Like I said, a lot of people in the United States are millionaires due to home equity. And these are people who bought their home 20, 30 years ago when home prices were vastly different, and just held the home and improved the home and lived in the home and really took care of the home. And over time, the value of that real estate went up and they became millionaires. I think many people in especially Gen Z will not be homeowners. It's a mixed review whether buying homes, especially homes that you live in, is the best investment of money, because once you add up property tax, maintenance, and insurance to the property value, and you pit that against the S&P 500 index, oftentimes the S&P 500 index fund comes out ahead. But it holds a special place for now in the American psyche to own one owns home. And a lot of Americans are millionaires because of home equity. So buying and holding real estate for the long term can be a ticket to becoming a millionaire. Next, opening an individual brokerage account and just doing a monthly amount. And usually this monthly amount is from your 9 to 5 job. So that person that has found a good steady job with a good income, has built up a very specialized skill set, and has a job earning $150,000 a year, but they live on $75,000 a year, takes all of that extra money and puts it either in their 401k account or puts it in an individual brokerage account. And the deal is that they're very methodical and very intentional about it. They don't miss a month. It's a bill that they pay to their future selves to put that money into an individual brokerage account or a 401k. Now, I know that is not possible for many people. If you're not in that position, it's okay. Some people start with $100 a month and just build up from there. Sometimes when you're starting out or your early 20s, or you've experienced some career challenges at some point in your life, you can't afford to be putting away $2,000 a month, and that is understandable. But the people who really meet the mark, when they can't do $2,000 a month, they do just $100 a month until they can get back on their feet and until they can get into a position where they can do $2,000 a month. But the point is, they pay themselves first. I know it's a cliche. I know we've heard it all very often in the world of finance and the world of wealth building, but it really is a truism. Now, in a few decades, you'll be a millionaire. The next way you can become a millionaire without necessarily outright owning a business is that you have equity in a business. You're an equity holder. You have equity share in a business that you work for, along with a bunch of other people. I have worked in businesses where I have had equity shares in business. And typically, when you're working with a business that has equity shares, your salary may not be as high as it would be if you were just getting cash outright. So you take a reduced salary, but you are getting equity in exchange for that reduced salary. And hopefully that equity will grow over time. And you also have to remember, equity is taxed more favorably than income. So you'll pay less taxes on it because equity is taxed more favorably than income. And hopefully that equity will grow to become something really special, and you can sell it, diversify it, move it into another asset. Some industries are more known for offering equity, like for example, technology industries tend to offer more equity holding. Some industries are not known for equity. For example, I have a lot of clients who work in like healthcare. I've never, unless the healthcare is a healthcare executive, there are some clients who work in healthcare who do get equity, but they're at the executive, SVP, CEO level. But do some research about your industry and see if it is possible to be compensated in equity. And if so, that could be a way of reaching millionaire status. Finally, owning a business, entrepreneurship. Let's just talk about it. A lot of people do become millionaires because they own businesses. And like I said, I really feel entrepreneurship is part of the American ethos, but I feel it's oversold as a solution to the vast majority of people. The vast majority of people do not have what it takes to be an entrepreneur. There's a host of characteristics and a host of personality attributes that come into place in being a successful entrepreneur. And some Americans have it, but many Americans don't. I really think there needs to be more education around entrepreneurship. And like I said, I believe social media and basically society has a success bias. Many entrepreneurs are not successful with their first business venture. It's often the second, sometimes third business venture that actually works phenomenally well and they're able to make money off of. Also, a lot of entrepreneurs start off in a 9 to 5 job. It's really hard for me to take someone who is 20 years old and says they're an entrepreneur serious. Reason being, the most successful entrepreneurs I have met have been people like in their 40s and 50s. They worked a 9 to 5 job at least for a decade and they specialized in an industry. Let's say you worked in the landscaping and lawn care industry for 10 years. You worked for someone else. You built up industry knowledge. You built up industry contacts. You built up some money in working your 9 to 5 job. And eventually you're like, you know what? I worked for this company for 10 years. I have this really great idea. Either this company can't do this idea because of constraints, or this company doesn't want to do this idea. I can do this idea. And this person goes on to create a business in a parallel industry or in the same industry that turns out to be really successful. But that person didn't take a crapshoot. That person really was very methodical about it. They built the experience, the connections, the time, and the resources to be able to develop a successful business in lawn care. And in my opinion, that's the way to do entrepreneurship. If you want to be an entrepreneur, go work for someone who is doing something similar to what you want to do or is in the same industry. Make the mistakes on their dime, but get to know the industry, build out your contacts, build up your cash, build up your connections, and then go start your own business. You may decide after working for this company for a few years, this is not the industry for you, or you don't see an opportunity for yourself. Then go work for another company, get some ideas, and start a business there. Those are often the most successful entrepreneurs that I meet. They made a very strategic decision to leave a corporate career and created a business that is in a parallel field to what they were working in. And they used their industry contacts, the connections, the money, and the knowledge to make that business very successful. So there you have it, a financial advisor's take on millionaire status and what you can do to actually get there. Just remember, there are many ways to become a millionaire. You can work a 9 to 5 job and become a millionaire. If you found this information useful, please share and subscribe.